Good morning, everyone. What a weekend. What a day on Thursday. I thought it was time to do an evaluation, give you some feedback, and stay tuned to the end for some very good news. So, I made a list and notes here, as Derek always asks me to do. So let's start with the evaluation of the 2022 launch. So we thought we were prepared. Yannicka was standing by at her desk. I was standing by. We had our web host standing by. And I couldn't even get to the site around 6 p.m. my time, so 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, that was it, to put everything live. So we were completely surprised and overwhelmed there. The beauty of it is it sparked like an impromptu event, which Yannick and I really enjoyed the energy and everybody. I had to learn how to do a live stream on Facebook really quick, which is why for the first time there was no video. I'm definitely going to be doing a live stream again if I do this kind of live launch. Now let's look at what happened. So Yannick and I, we were talking after the day after over coffee, and we noticed that the energy in this club is better, and it's a more cohesive group than many of the companies we've worked for in the past before we started for ourselves. Now, there will always be a few negative Nellies who do not understand that I cannot control and predict and manage everything. I do not see into the future. And like I said, when we have three people sitting by, standing by, and being ready, that's all we can do. So overall, it was great to see the group come together. The results speak for themselves, so stay tuned for that. So analysis showed that it wasn't the servers that were overloaded, but it's the platform we use. We have a platform which is called WooCommerce, which, if anyone's into e-commerce, that's a pretty common platform to use, and it just cannot handle this. If we look at all the statistics for the CPUs and the requests on the servers, that wasn't an issue. The site was unavailable at 6 because we just had to reboot. There were just too many requests going to WooCommerce, which is why the cart and checkout thing were basically the issue. So the next event will have to wait until at least June, because we have been working on a new website based on all your feedback for the past year or so. It's going to be an entirely different platform. And it's going to be a much faster site, a much better user experience too. So it doesn't use WooCommerce at all. So that should be a major improvement in how fast you can see everything works. A much more flexible payment plan option where paying off full in advance is going to be much easier. Also, for people wondering what number they got, that is something that we can add to your account info, your order info on the new website. So give us sometime after June, and then you will see before release. So before I promised, you will see the number you got. But I can tell you that for all the people who were there on Thursday, all your order numbers are going to be low triple digits. So yeah, that's already extremely limited edition if you're talking your low triple digits. So the most important stuff is that, we've shown that we've come together. So that has triggered me to want to try this again somewhere later this year when we have the 22 Batmobile into production, when the 1966 is released, when we have a working model and final prototype for the 1995. There's some cool stuff coming there, by the way, but I can tell you more when I can tell you more, no sooner. So what I really wanted to do is also do a signature version, a numbered limited edition for the 1989 Batmobile. So I've already submitted for approval for Warner Brothers so that we have all the approvals we need way ahead of the developments that we will be doing later this year. So now for the good news. After this weekend, we have already made the minimum requirements. So this is guaranteed to be a go. I will not cancel this. No refunds need to be sent. Of course, if you want to cancel this, your $100 NRD will have to stay in place because we will need all the numbers we can get and all the money we can get to get put into this development. And so what I really wanted to say is it was beautiful how we came together. We were completely overwhelmed, and I am blown away that I can already say that we've made the minimum order requirements. It was way beyond what I expected. It was actually way over double what I expected. So that's great news. So trust us and stick with us, and we will continue to make the best 2022 Batmobile out there, and we will be ready for release first. So we're still shooting for Q1 of next year. And so the more people who join us, the more budget we will have for additional detail and materials, etc. Just like you've seen in the past with the 1966, at my own cost, as people are added, I do make all the changes, upgrades, and extra features, just like we did for the first Justice Mobile, adding the Justice League kit. All these things do not increase the price, especially not for the early supporters. So stick with us. The second prototype will be much better than what you've already ordered. So just what you've ordered now is ground zero. If you're happy with that, there are going to be major improvements. I'm going to go into a couple of the improvements later. But I want you to know that right now we're working on changing the models for production. So we have the models from Warner Brothers. Those are accurate, but you have to translate that into something that can be made, right? So imagine the parts that need to be made from molds. Those are very complex 3D puzzles, and you can make, so let's imagine like a coiled spring, right? If you make a single mold for a coiled spring, then all the material that goes inside the spring would make it impossible for the mold to come apart again, right? So when you have to translate the models that you have from the and you have to think about from Warner Brothers in the way and from the set, and you have to think about release angles and just ways to make these things made, right? And so for a real car, there would be like thousands and thousands and thousands of different molds, which is why for a real car, the production and all that sort of thing goes into the tens of millions of dollars. And you'd be surprised how much scale isn't the most important thing. The cost for the molding is always the most important thing. So we're rethinking how we can add more detail without making it impossible to produce, right? So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be better. So it's going to be better than you've already seen. So what are we working on for the second prototype? So it's going to be an even more detailed interior. So for the people who missed that, there are actually 5 versions of the interior. So there were 4 cars, and there was a separate interior basically on a movie set that was just a movie interior. That's what they used for a lot of the filming of the interior. All of them were different. The throttle, brakes, and there's even a clutch for the interior. Those are different on the different models. What's in the passenger side is different for the different models. The tanks that are there are different. So we've settled on a version based on the people we've talked to on set that is the most representative and I think the most awesome look. That's what we're going to be using for the interior. So there's going to be more interior detail that you didn't even see yet on the interior. On the passenger side, we're going to be adding in detailing on the engine. We'll also slightly increase the stance, widen the stance of the rear wheels. Now again, this is important. Some people showed us pictures where the wheels are very wide outside, but again, there were 4 different cars, and the stance of these wheels are very different for the 4 different cars. So the stance that we currently have was based on the files we got from Warner Brothers. The one that we're trying to use is going to be an average of the 4 different versions out there, so it's going to be slightly different from the original files, but like an average from the 4 vehicles that we have the pictures of, right? I'm also thinking of maybe making 2 prototypes. So having a clean version and a weathered version, so that the people who ordered the weathered version will also know what theirs will look like, instead of, for the weathered version, keeping the pictures of the V1 prototype and the clean version being the V2 prototype, which was the original plan. we've now gotten enough support so that I can make 2 prototypes and everybody can see what they're getting. And this is what I mean by support us, and I will have the budget and the leeway without increasing the cost for you, because the price is fixed, to do more, right? So this is how it works. This is how we are going to get stuff made now and in the future. This will also open the door for the many 12 scale questions that I've been getting later this year. So don't start asking now, but I want to see how we can translate that later this year for some 12 scale stuff, maybe for the 89 Batmobile, or the 89 or the 2022 Batmobile. I don't know. We just have to look into this, but I'm going to think of a way so we can give it one more try to see that the 12th scale community can also come together and put their money where their mouth is. So that would be cool. For now, at least until the summer, no. So again, I want to reiterate, based on your feedback, there's going to be continuous improvements from the current prototype, which you can think of as the basic version, to what we will eventually produce. And no, we are never ever changing mid-production again. We did that based on the feedback from the group, where the group wanted, democratically decided, for the Falcon cockpit, they wanted the screws so that they can take out the glass. And then later, the majority said, no, we don't want that. So we changed that back. And now people are upset that there are 2 versions out there. We're never doing that again. Okay. So another thing to know is that we had non-DX and DX versions in the past. Now it's just one signature version. So mechanically speaking, we're just making one version. It will have all the features. So all the same detailing, all the same molds, the light remote control, sound remote control. Yes, the sound will be exactly like you've had the soundtrack from the movie. We have the rights to use that. So the sound will be like in the movie. And then the smoke, the water powered smoke. That will be for both versions. There's not going to be any difference, except for the clean version will have a different paint job and different weathering than the weathered version. So if you have any feedback for us beyond what we've already said, we're going to address the interior. We've decided which interior we are going to replicate out of the 5 interiors. For the exterior, we've decided what exterior we're going to use out of the 4 different exteriors that there were. We're going to improve the detailing on the engine, and the detailing on the inside. We're going to make different. I've gotten some great pictures from set now that the movie is out. So, okay, this is a little side tangent. Before the movie is out, you're getting very little actual picture material, because of course they don't want anything to be spoiled or leaked online. So I'm getting very low resolution pictures. I'm getting very few of them, and they have my name across it all. So it's very hard to look through that and see the detailing. So now the movie is out, and we've got a lot of fans also on the inside, and people who were on set building those vehicles. Several people have contacted me, and I've seen a bunch of pictures that are still just for me. I'm not showing them to anyone, but now I can see a lot more. And we're going to add that also in the paint for the vehicle, for the engine. So the discoloration on the metal and all those sort of cool details. So again, you ain't seen nothing yet. So now for the speculation, I want to focus on our stuff. So there might be another model out there that will be released sometime this year. We've heard rumors. I would be very surprised if there were 2 others coming out. I don't think so, especially now that so many people have decided to back us. I don't think there's just enough room in the market for that. So that's great. Stick with us, and we will make sure you get the best you deserve. And it is at least going to be the most limited edition. I mean, there's going to be people with a single-digit numbered plate, double digits, low triple digits. I mean, cool. So. Again, thank you all for overwhelmingly supporting us on this. We're going ahead. We're going to make it better. And let's go down this road together again. I mean, it's an exciting road every time. We can skip a lot of steps now that we finally have something with the original files, and we're so much faster with being able to make the prototype that way and all sorts of things. So I expect to have the new files and the new prototype in the next couple of months. Then after the summer, we've already found a supply chain that does not interfere with all the other products, so it does not slow down any of the other products, so that we can start production after the summer and then release in Q1, unless crazy stuff happens that I cannot control, more COVID lockdowns, more issues with the war, whatever. So stick with us. We're going to have fun. Then we're going to make this together. This is going to be a process that we will replicate for other projects. I've got some very cool and very exciting stuff scheduled. So as long as you can keep supporting us, I've got some more cool stuff up my sleeve. Thanks again. On behalf of my dad Hans, Janneke, my wife, Luke and Leon, Chiara, of course Derek, it is wonderful. You've made our weekend, you've made our week, made month with this. Thank you. And until the next time.